have Rodney's coming down. Talk about manufacturing extension partnership.
Thank you. All right, well, good to see a big crowd today. We're going to talk about the MEP. I think we heard John bring him up a couple times. Has anybody who here in the room knows what the MEP does? A couple? And what does the MEP stand for? That would be my first question. So we are the Arizona Manufacturing Extension Partnership, and we are actually part of the Arizona Commerce Authority. So we'll kind of get into it. Where's the clicker? Well, there it is. You stole it. Okay, great. Okay, so this is kind of the things I'm going to go over. So we'll talk about the history of the Manufacturing Extension Partnership, what our mission statement is. We're going to talk about some of the incentives that we can assist with. We'll talk about the different program offerings that we do.
You need to use the mic.
This mic here?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
The one that's picking up in the room is this.
This one? Okay. I'll try to stand over here. So is that okay?
Is that better? Up farther?
You can't hear you very well, Ryan.
Okay, sorry. How about now? Sound good? Okay. So we're going to talk about, these are what we're going to talk about. So we'll talk about our program offerings or workshops. We'll talk about staffing assistance. And this is just, we'll talk about a couple of things in detail that we do. Staffing assistance, leadership training. I'll give a couple of case studies, and then we'll have some questions. So part of our team's here today. So we're a relatively small team for the amount of manufacturers out here in the state. I kind of want to have our team stand up because I know we have some people here. Could everybody kind of stand up a little bit? We got Tanya Perkins over there. We got Jim Harrison. We got Michael D. and Greg Bishak here. And Adam. Adam over here. Sorry, I missed Adam. So look for us out in the crowd during break if you want to talk about some of the things you see, and we'd definitely like to talk here about what you're doing in the community, what help you might need. We have, and all of us, by the way, have all types of different expertise in the manufacturing area. And a couple of people that aren't here, Kevin O'Shea, he helps out with our exporting. He has relationships outside the country. And we have a couple other people here that have different expertise, but we'll go into that. Okay, so what is the MEP? So back in the late 80s, when all manufacturing was going overseas, basically the federal government said, hey, what can we do to help stop this? And so they came up with the idea of the Manufacturing Extension Partnership. And federal dollars are given to this organization. They're given to NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology. And then NIST loosely manages the MEPs. And so there's actually an MEP in every state. They all have different names. So maybe some of you in other states have heard about the MEPs there. We're called the Arizona Manufacturing Extension Partnership. The partnership piece is really awesome because we work with each other. If there's a problem we encounter with one of the clients that we're supporting, if we're looking for different types of resources, we have national conferences where we talk amongst each other, trying to help support manufacturing in the states that we're in, and nationally for that matter. So what's our mission statement? Our mission statement is very simple: to make every Arizona manufacturer be the best they can be. And that's all we're out there doing. We are constantly meeting with manufacturers and trying to assist with the problems they're having. And John kind of really, John's presentation was all about these things that companies need to be looking into and how to help them, succeed. And where we come in, we're actually providing those resources. So let's talk about incentives, the first thing. So since we are part of the Arizona Commerce Authority, we have relationships with a lot of the economic development groups in the state. We have a good idea of what the incentives are. So our first step when we meet with a manufacturer is we try to see, hey, how can we help? Are there any dollars out there to help support you? And there are a lot of little programs out there, and there are some large ones. So our counterparts here at the ACA, the business development team, they manage some of the biggest incentives for manufacturers. We know what those are. When we meet with our manufacturers, we talk to them, help them understand what's available to them. And there's other types of incentives. So did you know, this is a big one that a lot of people don't know, as a manufacturer, in Arizona, you do not have to pay state and county utility tax. That's a big deal. A lot of people don't know about that. These are the types of things we talk about. So we can actually assist you in getting a refund going back 4 years and getting an exemption going forward. So anyway, this is a couple examples of some of the incentives we'll talk about. And then qualified facilities is a big incentive for companies that are growing here or coming here. And there's a tax incentive based on the CapEx and how many people you hire. And then another big incentive is quality jobs. And that has to do with, again, CapEx expenditures and the average wage that you're paying your employees. So we'll talk about that a little bit with our companies when we meet with them. But our main job is really to listen to our manufacturers and try to see what issues are they having and how can we help assist them. And so we kind of break up our offerings into two groups. The first one's business excellence. And so I think let me give a little bit of background about how we deliver these offerings, and we'll kind of talk a little bit about them. But we don't know it all, right? And so even though we have a team of experts to deliver services, we actually only have a few services that we actually deliver ourselves. And so what we do is we qualify various vendors to deliver these types of services. And we actually contract directly with the manufacturers to deliver those services. And then we contract directly with the vendors. And so what we do is we are actually your advocate in this relationship. So we know what services should cost. We know what quality looks like, and we've used those vendors time and time again. If vendors aren't performing, they're out. And what's in it for us is a survey at the end. So typically a project could be real quick, easy project, maybe a couple weeks, or maybe it's a year-long project. But what's in it for us is we are surveyed at the end of every project. We survey our clients a year after the project ends. And the survey's simple. Did we help increase revenue? Did we help grow jobs? Did we help cost savings? And so that's what we're doing. That's where we come in as your advocate, is we don't want you to take on any type of expenditures if you're not going to get a benefit from it. And so all of our services, and this is another thing that's hard to grasp, we are part of the Arizona Commerce Authority, but we also charge for our services. So if there's something that we can help you with where it's just us doing the work, talking, coaching, there's no charge for that. But when we bring in an outside vendor that's going to deliver a service, there's a charge. So here's an example of some of the business excellence services that we do. So strategy, we do a lot of business strategy. Greg Bishak in the back, he's our business strategy expert. That's something we have in-house. We do a lot of assistance with CPA, bookkeeping, accounting, financial management type services. It's one of our biggest services that we do. We work with companies that are small startups, one person. And then for TSMC, I was out there with bolt cutters, opening up the gates and showing them the property. So we do a big range of services for different types of companies. We say we're small to medium size, but the reality is we're helping out every company we can. We do a lot. I talked a little bit on the intro, Export Tech. We have a great program for businesses. If you're Arizona-based business, you're trying to learn how to export. We have a program that will help you develop your own personal export plan. And that is awesome. It's called Export Tech. Let us know if you're interested in that. Leadership is one of the biggest things. As you can imagine, a lot of companies, whether they're small or large, are bringing people up through the ranks, and those people have no idea how to communicate, how to deal with conflict resolution, performance reviews, employee development, that type of thing. And we'll go into some detail on what we do there. R&D tax credits is another big thing we talk about. If you're a manufacturer and you're not doing R&D tax credits, you're missing out. So you're leaving money on the table. A lot of people think they have to be super high tech to get R&D tax credits. It's not the case. I told you about the utility tax exemption. We do sales training is a big thing. ERP, we heard that conversation a little bit earlier. A lot of digital marketing, cybersecurity and IT, big thing. John was talking about that. Aerospace and defense, there's some big initiatives that if you want to be suppliers to tier 1, you need to have CMMC you need to be CMMC certified, which is a standard for aerospace and defense for security wise. We do a lot of IT managed support. Okay, operational excellence. So this is the other side. Continuous improvement. being that we support manufacturers is one of the biggest things we do. Kyle Randalls, he's not here today. Adam, though, as well, is our expert in lean manufacturing. So we do a lot of lean manufacturing, continuous improvement. You'll hear 6S thrown around a lot. The reality is a lot of the manufacturers don't need 6S. They need lean manufacturing systems. We actually just started a lean green belt program. We're certifying people to be lean green belts certified. So that's awesome. Adam was very instrumental in that. We do a lot of ISO certifications. So 9001 or Aerospace 9100. We help prepare you to be certified. So we do a lot of training around that. Sourcing, networking, contract manufacturing. I was talking to an individual today, just right before we started, about contract manufacturing. We love to make introductions for our businesses. How can we help support each other in the state? We do a lot of technical training. We do safety, a lot of safety training. Manufacturers, they need to have safety manuals. They need to be the individuals need to be forklift certified. We do workshops with OSHA 10, OSHA 30. So we're definitely a resource for that as well. Automation, product design, Industry 4.0, we are definitely part of that, and we're looking to assist companies that want to move in that direction. And then staffing, a lot of staffing. We'll go into some details about that. So let's talk real quick. So we kind of already talked about, we meet with our manufacturers that need assistance. We try to let them know about incentives. We ask them simply, and we're not out here trying to sell anything, right? Our goal is to hear what the problems are of the manufacturer we support, and then try to provide resources to them. We also do a lot of workshops. So here's some examples of the workshops we'll do. You can go to the ACA's website, look under programs, find the Arizona MEP page, and you can see all the workshops that we have. Here's some of the basic ones we do. We do Intro to Lean, which is a great, fun class. We use Legos to kind of demonstrate lean manufacturing. It's very eye-opening. It's 4 hours. It's pretty exciting. We do a lean green belt training. Adam, how many days is the lean green belt training? 5 days, and it's over how many months?
3 months.
3 months. That is an awesome program. I like to say that if I go into a manufacturer and you don't have a continuous improvement process in place, we can improve your efficiency by 28% straight up. So if you're not doing continuous improvement, you are wasting money and you're being inefficient, and we can definitely assist in that. Again, I talked about safety, OSHA 10, OSHA 30. We have workshops on that. Leadership Academy, Tanya and Jim worked really hard on creating this Leadership Academy we do. Tanya, how many Leadership Academies have we had so far?
We're having our final one November 9th to complete the certificate.
Okay, and it's a 4-course program, right? And how long does it usually? It's about a year program.
Once a quarter, we're offering
Once a quarter. Okay, so we put together a Leadership Academy program, which you get a certificate afterwards, and it's in partnership with Uwe Eller. It's a great program. Definitely look into that. And then we do a lot of other various informational workshops. We'll do a little workshop, a couple hours in the morning. Come and learn about different types of topics. Again, we do a lot on some of the main things we do: leadership management, financial management, you name it. We're talking about safety, etc. Okay, so I wanted to dive into some of the big things that we do, and staffing is definitely one of the biggest. Tanya is our staffing expert there in the back. We partner, like I was saying, with vendors, right? Well, what makes us different is we're different than just some staffing agency. We do have staffing agencies we use, but we look at staffing from the very beginning. So I'm not going to read all this stuff on here, but what we do is we'll go work with a company. We'll find out, okay, where do we start? Well, start with the job descriptions, right? So a lot of people want to hire somebody, but they don't have the right job description. So it's a good place to start. We have individuals that we can bring in that will help create the job descriptions for you. They can help post the job descriptions for you. They can help interview the people for you. So some people aren't ready to hire a staffing agency, but they just need assistance get moving. We can help with that piece. Then the next step would be, okay, I want some maybe temp to hire, or maybe I just want temp workers, right? Well, we use our partners to actually make that happen. So we will do temp to hire, or just, temp workers. We have the ability to have somebody actually be in-house and help support those individuals for the larger companies that might need that. And then we do the traditional direct hire, contingent placement, that I think most people are used to. We do a lot of that. Where we come in and assist is we aren't just one staffing firm, right? We have multiple. So we'll bring in a staffing firm depending on what we think their expertise is. You want temp to hire in a certain industry, sewing, for example. We have somebody we bring in that's going to definitely be able to deliver in that. If you want more contract to hire, maybe in a technology or assembly, we have that. We'll bring somebody for that. You need somebody that's more IT, well, we have a specialty for that. So really what we're doing is managing an entire staffing for you, right? I know Tanya's done some big projects where we're just in-house supporting your entire team from start to finish. And that also goes along with onboarding, right? And then, so we have a lot of onboarding assistance and everything that kind of takes on. So leadership training, again, I said leadership training is one of the biggest things we do. And there are a lot of topics around leadership training. And we've created the Leadership Academy I was talking about. But what we do, everything we do is custom. So when we go to one manufacturer, their leadership needs might be different than another manufacturer, right? And so I kind of just put together this list of all the topics we usually are asked to talk about. First-time supervisor training, communication skills, understanding your people, goal setting, leadership roles, communication skills, DISC profiles, holding people accountable, setting performance expectations. So these are all a list of common things that companies need assistance with. Sometimes we'll go in a company, they don't have a performance review process, they don't have their job description. So we'll put together a custom program for them where we start, okay, let's do an assessment of all your leadership. Let's figure out where the gaps are. Let's help create job descriptions. Let's help with performance evaluations. Let's help with employee development. We'll create an entire plan for you. Sometimes, and I wanted to call out Maricopa Corporate College because we actually do partner with them. Sometimes companies want, hey, I just need something quick and dirty. I want a certain topic, or something. So like Maricopa Corporate College, they're one of our partners, one of our vendors that we work with. So, for example, I've used Maricopa Corporate College for some of the Excel training that we've done, or just some basic leadership courses that we've done. So there's a lot of partnerships that we do too as well with Maricopa College. So I want to make sure to call them out. So I also wanted to do a case study on lean, just to kind of talk more about the impact lean can have on your facility if you're not taking advantage of it right now. So this was a case study I did a few years ago. This is with Universal Avionics down in Tucson. And they called us in, they said, hey, we are having some big problems with the efficiency on our line. We are considering spending $1 million to double our line just to keep the efficiency going to meet our customer demands. What can you help us with? Is there any way to make our current line more efficient? And so the first thing we started with is we need everybody on the line to understand what we're doing here on a basic level. And so we simply provided that Lean 101 training as a starting point, because you're not going to be able to get people to follow you unless they have at least an understanding of what you're trying to do. I think a lot of people think lean, a lot of the production workers, and think, oh, I'm going to lose my job. That is not the case. So we provide that training at site. And then what we do is we do a value stream mapping. And also I want to kind of emphasize here, we're not going there and doing what I'm doing right now. We're not doing some slide presentation. We're out there getting our hands dirty. So we are actually on the manufacturing floor, looking at their current process and we're mapping out their process. We're baselining, what are they doing right now? We're evaluating any equipment issues, looking at non-technical steps. So these are some of the things we did there. What we found out is that their process was very inefficient. They had people that should be doing technical tasks, doing tasks that related to packaging. So we need to separate those things out. We found equipment that were down, equipment that needed to be fixed easily. No goals. You would be surprised at how many companies we go in, because that's the best thing. We go, everybody's seen the show How's It Made, right? That's my job. That's Tanya's job. That's our job, right? And so we go out there and you'll see how many companies I see where there's no goals posted. The people have no idea what they're supposed to be making every day or by the hour or half the day. They don't have their goals posted. So they're not communicating, right? And so this is another thing. We went in there, figured out what the goals should be, posted the goals, made visual, everything should be visual and easy to see and easy to read. So they should be able to easily see where I'm at for the day, what do I need to get done, and then tracking that performance throughout the day, right? So it's not just about putting your goals up. The supervisors need to be tracking that performance and communicating it all the way up to leadership to be able to hold people accountable for what they're doing. What we ended up doing there was we increased their production output from 80 to 150 units per day. And in the end, it was not necessary to double their production line. So again, these types of things we love to do. And this was saved the company $1 million, and it only cost them about $3,000 for our service. So that's the kind of value we're trying to bring to our manufacturers here in the state. This is a big one I like to talk about. This is a company that came to the ACA, Syntex, from Malaysia, and they had no idea how to set up business here. And I know that's probably not a lot of people here in this room, but I think it gives an idea of the breadth of services that we can provide. So this company, Syntex, they make stretch wrap, like saran wrap, right? So when you get manufacturers that are boxing up their product on pallets and they wrap them up in the saran wrap, that's stretch wrap. And so that's what Syntex does. They have multiple facilities out of Malaysia, and they really wanted to be able to deliver quicker into the United States. So they came to the ACA and we were talking to them. They had no idea how to do business in the United States. And so that's where the AZ MEP came in and we said, we can help you with everything. And we did. So they got the building. They were able to find the building that they wanted, and then we helped with a slew of activities. So the first thing was, we need somebody to help run this plant. Well, we had the connections, and we simply made the introduction for their plant manager, and that helped get everything moving. We helped set up their temp to hire process to get the employees in the door to ramp up. Assistance with city permitting. This is a big problem. Companies trying to expand, and they're not. A lot of the cities have programs that can help fast track your permitting. So we helped with that, helped them set up with the city of Phoenix to help fast track permitting. Variances, this is kind of one of the biggest first projects I was involved with. And these silos they were putting in, they needed to get a variance. And somehow I found myself at the city during the hearing against a lawyer for a building next door that was fighting not to have these silos. But in the end, obviously, they won. We got our silos in. And it's all about trying to create jobs here. So this company came in and they created about 100 jobs. So anyway, we'll help with anything we can. We don't like to say no. The only thing that we don't help with is law. We're not going to get into that, but we have a lot of lawyers we can introduce you to. And that happened here, helped with immigration. So they needed help with immigration. I don't know about immigration, but we have lawyers that we introduce them to. We helped with, their safety, their HR handbook, how to do payroll in the United States, their railroad. That was a big problem. We helped set up their railroad, everything. So I think we even have some more things here. Well, we don't talk more things, but we were in there helping set up their alarm systems. So we're here to support companies in any way that you need support, even down to I help them set up their landscaping service, right? So this is what we're here to do. Specifically, though, I think the biggest impact we had was helping project manage the construction of the building that they were doing. They had to put in the silos. They needed help understanding the process. So we work closely with the contractors, with the architects to help the company stay on track and to meet their production timeline. So in the end, our executive director, Dave Garofano, asked the owner of the company, hey, why'd you choose Arizona? And in the end, he said, because you guys were here to support us, right? And that's what we like to hear. So for everybody here, I know that there are manufacturers here, or there's people that are working with manufacturers. Please let them know about our services. Our goal is to help support manufacturing, just like our mission statement says. So let's take some questions. I think that was a lot of information. I'll try to repeat the question when you ask it. So okay, here we go. Yep.
So how does a manufacturing company get into the vendor list, and how do they acquire the opportunities that you guys have.
Great. So how do you become a vendor for the MEP? What's interesting is a lot of our vendors actually end up being kind of our clients too at the same time, depending on what they do. So being part of the state agency, and you know what, I'm gonna say something really quick too that I didn't say. Some of the MEPs are with a state agency, some of them are freestanding nonprofits, and some of them are with the university. So we are with a state agency. And what that means is we can't just, if you were that vendor, we can't just make some, agreement and then I'm always giving you the business. So we have an RFQ process just like most states do. And so that process, it usually happens about once a year. And so the best thing to do if you're interested in getting on our list as a vendor is to go ahead and contact one of us and then we'll get you on that next RFQ process. The good news is that the RFQ process, instead of being once a year, I think it's going to be open all the time. So you'll be able to apply all the time. So yeah, definitely, if you're interested, let us know. Okay, any other questions? Yes?
On staffing, do you work with veterans at all?
With veterans?
I mean, do you find veterans?
Well, so, I feel like there's so much to talk about. I can't talk about everything. So there are different programs in the state to help veterans get jobs, and we definitely talk about that. So one of the things we do when we talk to staffing agents or to our clients about staffing assistance, we do talk about the state assistance, city, county assistance, and then all these other different programs that are out there, like, and I'm blanking on the name right now, the Veterans Program. Can anybody else help me out here?
VBOT.
Okay.
Business Outreach Center.
Okay, that's one. What's the program that's available that veterans can work for 6 months at a company? Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say Arizona Accelerator.
SkillBridge.
SkillBridge is one word. So we talk about the SkillBridge program, which is where veterans can, after they're done with their service, they're still actually working. They're still actually with the military getting their normal pay, and they can actually go and work for manufacturers or any company for that matter for 6 months. And the benefit is the company does not have to pay them because they're still in the military, and they're getting this person that they can train up and then hopefully hire. That's kind of the things that we talk about, the different programs, if they have questions about that. So we have a list that we have of all these different types of staffing programs. There's refugees, all types of different things in there. Okay, over there.
Yeah, we also have a Boots to Business entrepreneurship program. We've got like a couple of them, like part 1 and part 2. It's really good. You can be in the military still and having exited already.
Okay,
Highly recommended.
great, thank you. Okay, I see a hand up in the back there.
I have a question regarding the university avionics case study or universal avionics case study.
Yes.
You mentioned that you increased your offer from 8 to 150 to 87.5%. What type of pushback do you get from employees and how do you handle that? It's almost twice.
Yeah.
People complaining.
Oh, I'm definitely going to have to repeat it. Okay, so the question was about the example I gave on universal avionics and what type of employee pushback we were getting. Well, one of the biggest things about lean manufacturing is you involve the employees. Crazy concept, huh? So, so leadership can't just go. I always think, I'm going to give a stupid example, but I remember there's times you want to involve the employees and times you don't want to involve the employees, right? But when you're making a big change that involves the employees, they need to be part of that change. And more importantly, they know things that you don't know. And so you need to be listening to them all the time. So the answer to the question is they are involved from the beginning. You have their buy-in. In this case specifically, we started asking, what is the problem? Right? And so we bring in the leads, specifically, we bring in the lead operators to talk to them. And then we go and interview the people on the line. And inevitably, they're like, oh, somebody wants to listen to us? We'll tell you the problems. And then we actually look at the process. So in this time, there was equipment that was broken down. And the employees are just sick of saying anything about it. And then it just kind of goes by the wayside. Or they're doing somebody else's job that they took on, like the packaging piece, right? Or they end up doing all these reworks, and that's eating up all their time. One of the best companies that I believe that I've looked at that are lean is Honeywell. I don't know if anyone's had a chance to go look at Honeywell, but they have a great system called the Honeywell operating system. What I loved about it is that one of the requirements for all the employees was for them to make 2 process improvement suggestions every month. And so when you have all the employees on the production line required to make 2 process improvements every month, and then the management is required to act on a select number of those, now you have complete and total buy-in. So, and then also we did the training, the lean training too. So that's how you have to make it happen. You have to get the employees involved. Okay, any other questions? No, that wasn't very many questions. Please reach out to us. Oh, I got one more question.
You said you help with contracting, is that government contracting as well? Or just-
You know, we do have some resources around that. We haven't done, I would say we haven't done too many. Around government contracting, assisting with government contracting. There are some companies out there that can assist with that. Thank you.